Big things are happening with Cardano. The IOHK Summit in Florida has just come to a close, and there is a lot of good news which has come out of it. In this video, I'll be breaking down some of those stories for you. And let's just get straight into it, guys. The first big one is to do with the protocol upgrade named Shelley. Now, the goal of the Cardano Shelly era is to bring full decentralization to Cardano, which will essentially see the blockchain moving beyond the federated epoch which we currently find ourselves in and handing control of the Cardano ledger over to the community via stake pools. Shelley has been one of the most highly anticipated network updates to come to Cardano yet, and will allow Cardano to become a fully proof of stake blockchain. Charles Hoskinson has stated that the aim is to have 1,000 staking pools by the end of this year, which is awesome. Now, I am definitely going to need to run one of those staking pools when they do come out. Shelley will give Cardano a high level of decentralization versus other coins running delegated proof of stake like EOS with its 21 block producers or the mining pools in Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying that those other models are bad by any means. They have their own pros and cons like anything, but what Cardano is doing will indeed be awesome because anyone can register a stake pool. There will be no sort of block producer oligarchies here. Stake pools can be registered through the Daedalus wallet, and as we did cover previously on the channel, the Yoroi wallet will also enable easy staking in a similar fashion to what Daedalus will be offering. This is great because if you're a small user and you want to delegate to a stake pool, so if you only have 10,000 ADA for example, then you can just click delegate in your wallet in order to start staking. It will literally be that easy to earn passive rewards with Cardano when Shelley goes live. I can't wait. It's going to be super awesome. Of course, the original holder of that fund will still be granted full monetary rights over their delegated funds. This means that they are free to spend the ADA on their wallet balance at any time they might want to, even if they have entrusted it to a stake pool operator, which I think really gives a nice amount of freedom for anyone wanting to delegate and get those rewards. Further announced was that you can run a staking pool off of a small hardware device. We can see one pictured here. These are independently made by a non-affiliated company. Units of this particular model will cost around $80. Surely we will see someone get this working on a Raspberry Pi eventually as well in the future. The Shelley testnet is coming soon. Definitely looking forward to that. Cardano continues to expand and roll out its Pan-African vision. As Charles describes it, Cardano is a financial operating system for the countries that don't yet have one. Very cool stuff. Here are a few words from Charles about that vision.
The enterprise side, we're mostly Pan-African in focus. So we have offices, for example, in Ethiopia. We have some people we partner with like Crypto Savannah in Uganda. We've had a lot of great conversations with companies like Inlu down in South Africa. And usually those projects are 3 to 7 year time horizon projects where we enter the jurisdiction, we train an entire cohort of developers, and then from that cohort we then go do pilots in the 6 month to 2 year time horizon, and then we turn those pilots over into commercializable technology through a public-private partnership. So for example, that can be something as exotic as saying on that cup of coffee you get from Starbucks, at some point in the future it'll have a QR code on the side and you can scan it and know where that coffee bean came from that made the coffee, to something like, does the person actually have a real college degree from a real university, and being able to verify that credential using some sort of blockchain backend. That's kind of the scope of those types of projects.
Where do you think are some of the most promising applications for Cardano's technology?
So Cardano really is trying to focus itself as a next generation cryptocurrency. The Cardano ecosystem is all about saying, how do we study these really difficult problems of scale, problems of interoperability, and problems of sustainability, and study them with a very rigorous peer-reviewed academic approach. So we start in the university setting and then build it with techniques that you normally see at NASA or big companies that basically use formal methods in functional programming. And so we take these things and then we try to apply it towards solving problems in the most hostile places you can imagine, the developing world. So this is why we have a Pan-African view. We often say Cardano is the financial operating system for the countries that don't have one. So we really want to be the entity that solves the remittance problem. We really want to be the protocol that solves the microfinance problem and get those loans down from 35% interest to 5% interest. We'd really like to be able to find ways to extend these cryptocurrency protocols into environments that basically are offline. How do you use a cryptocurrency if you don't have access to the internet? How do you use a cryptocurrency if you only have sporadic ability to recharge your phone or your laptop? These are the kinds of problems and domains that we really want to push this third generation technology towards so that we can get those other 3 billion people who are unbanked back into the financial system so that they can prosper just like the rest of us.
Cardano has signed an MOU with the Ethiopian Ministry of Innovation, and this will actually see a token for Addis Ababa, which is of course the capital of Ethiopia and a city of 6 million people, which will be working with Cardano to launch the city token. While we are still short on the exact details of what this is actually going to be, how this is actually going to work, it is certainly exciting to see the Cardano vision pushing forward. We do know some of the details from a leaked slide and from some hints from some of the different speeches during the conference. It appears that it will be primarily used as some sort of a stable coin solution to enable payments. Things like water and power still need to be paid at physical offices in cash around the city, which is eye-wateringly inefficient. I can't imagine that. This, of course, could disrupt that model massively. Can easily see this expanding into payments for really all services, things like taxes and even goods in the street, if it does indeed work well. Much like with mobile phones, countries like Ethiopia will be given the chance to simply leapfrog over the old banking infrastructure and move straight into the future of finance. And Charles has also teased that he would love to see some additional functionality coming into this Addis Ababa token in the form of things like digital identity, signing contracts, and even voting, all potentially as part of this project, which leads to the next piece of the puzzle, which is the Tangem card. The Tangem cards would be an excellent fit for a project like the Addis Ababa one. Basically, what you do, you take the card, you tap it on the back of your phone, for example, to open up your wallet. But also it has applications for identity and geostamping and offline crypto transactions, which is of course very important, and much more than that. Now this actually helps cross the barrier for a country like Ethiopia, which lacks the kind of consistent internet infrastructure which you really need for a cryptocurrency to work well. And a Tangem card only costs around 30 cents, so it's very affordable and can really serve as not just a digital wallet for, these physical signing of transactions, but for so much more, and could actually have really powerful implications. And that's just one MOU. There are many others in discussion which cannot be announced yet due to NDAs, and currently trying to decide on the different ones. And the demand is overwhelming, according to the team from Cardano, and they're simply trying to select a smaller number of really high quality initial programs across the continent of Africa. And all of this falls under Cardano's enterprise vision, which is codenamed Atala. By the way, the name Atala comes from a rare South Florida butterfly. Here is a picture of Charles Hoskinson releasing a box of them into the wild. He looks so happy, doesn't he? Okay, so Atala is a Hyperledger Fabric-like piece of infrastructure designed from the ground up for addressing state level challenges with blockchain, such as corruption, supply chain, certification of things like university degrees, a really big one, of course, land registry, which particularly in the case of the African context is a gigantic issue which can be solved with blockchain, essentially solving real problems for real people, which really what blockchain is all about. I mean, hey, the sick gains are great too, but the sick gains are actually a nice side effect of making the world a better place. Over on the education front, Cardano is pushing hard to get developers to learn the skills necessary to build on top of Cardano. Here is Charles Hoskinson speaking on that topic.
So we have two ways we hire engineers in the company. We either find them or we train them. So we've actually run 3 courses, one in Athens, one in Barbados, and one in Ethiopia. The Ethiopia by far was the most meaningful and the largest, where we worked with the Ministry of Innovation and Technology, and they sourced over 300 candidates, all women, who were recent graduates of computer science, math, and physics, to apply to learn Haskell and Plutus and basically blockchain technology. We filtered that set down to 23, and we had sent down a German mathematician named Lars Brunius, and we said, no, you can't do it remotely. You have to drink the water and eat the food. You have to live there. He said, okay. So he lived in Addis Ababa for 3 months and taught this class. Start to finish, all 23 graduated. It was very rigorous, and they put a lot into it. Some of them traveled over 2 hours a day, one way, on buses to get there. We had 4 from Uganda that came up, and one of them had to leave a 1.5-year-old daughter with her mom for 3 months, didn't get to see her daughter for 3 months while they were there. I flew down to Ethiopia to graduate them, and it was a very emotional event, and it was just incredibly rewarding, and it looks like we'll probably have the privilege of hiring all 23 of them, and they're going to work on enterprise projects all throughout Africa.
And here is a short clip from a separate video where some of those students are interviewed.
There's a problem with believing in Africans as developers. People would rather outsource their technologies than trust in us, who have done 4 3-year courses to develop for them their software. So that's a really, really big challenge, embracing technology and also believing in ourselves to develop softwares.
Being able to build these transparent and decentralized systems is a big privilege and a great opportunity for me. And when I heard about it, I heard that experts that are working in the field are coming to teach us. So it's something that we've never had before, so it's pretty exciting.
The links for both of the long forms of the Fortune interview and of the Ethiopia interviews with the students can be found in the description below. But also, IOHK has launched free courses for anyone wanting to build on Cardano. They have launched 2 different courses over on Udemy, one for Marlow and one for Plutus, which are programming languages for Cardano. As a reminder, Marlow is a new language for modeling financial instruments, a smart contracts course on a blockchain. Now, it has been designed specifically for people who are, business engineers or perhaps subject experts rather than experienced developers. So trying to get that crowd in. And Plutus, which basically provides an execution platform and a functional programming language that runs on the Cardano settlement layer. Now, Plutus allows for a nicer way to show that contracts are correct and that those contracts won't encounter the problems that we have found in previous smart contract language design, like Solidity, for example. It has been designed for people like developers and business experts and academia. You can check out the free courses if, of course, you want to learn how to actually go and build things on top of Cardano. You can find those over on Udemy, links down below. Emergo Academy India has launched with the goal of providing an intensive course for IT students, for working professionals, for beginners, for corporates, and of course, training those teaching staff to help with those courses, and then offering career options with Emergo for people who do excel at those courses. Also, the Cardano Foundation has recently participated in the official inauguration of the European Commission's International Association of Trusted Blockchain Application, or INATBA. as a founding member of that group. Now, INATBA will offer developers and users of distributed ledger technology a global forum where they can go and interact with regulators and with policymakers in order to try and bring distributed ledger technology and blockchain technology to its next stage. Now, also mentioned at the conference were some key future upgrades. Things like the Lightning Network, which is probably going to be integrated into Cardano, currently being explored, and if it does happen, it'll likely be part of the Basho upgrade in 2020. And also probably coming in 2020 is the treasury system and community governance of the platform. Staking is only the first part of this, and that will be part of the Voltaire upgrade, also likely for 2020. And finally, a new enhanced block explorer called Seiza is underway from the guys over at Emergo. Now, Seiza is Japanese for constellation. The new block explorer promises to enhance the functionality of the block exploration on Cardano, essentially making it easier to track transactions and also to find specific data from specific blocks. This is yet another initiative from the team at Emergo, which aims to make Cardano a better platform. And if we use Yoroi as evidence, then I'm sure that Seiza will also be cool. By the way, Yoroi will allow for the printing of paper wallets soon, which of course for anyone who is a big paper wallet believer is a great option for those, as you can do it natively from the wallet. And that is all of the Cardano updates for today, guys. I know there's a lot of exciting things going on over at Cardano. Let me know what you think about any of these updates or anything else with Cardano down below in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for watching. And if you're new around here, make sure to check out Cryptocurrency Explained. It is my free educational course, which you can find in the playlist just up here, or you can go over to Udemy, or you can go to thecryptolark.org to find that 5-hour free course on crypto. If you like today's video, leave a thumbs up on it. You can always subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.